Hi. Oh, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. It's not for people that have children alone. Can you hear me, please? Okay. It's nice to have you here. Let me alert my Instagram people that have gone live. Looking for the page. Can't find the picture. Hi, people. If you are here, please say hi. Hi, Nkechi. It's nice to have you guys here. Good evening. Let me arrange myself very well. Okay. Hi you guys. Uh Sorry, I'm just trying to. Hi Temi. I'm looking for the clinic. I'm looking for the picture I posted yesterday just to let people know that I'm live. I don't know why these days I feel a bit what's the word? I feel a bit nervous about lives because I think I'm beginning to overthink my lives. And initially, when I just started doing live videos, they used to just like I just used to come and talk about anything. But since I've started like, overthinking them, like, oh, what do I talk about? I now think I feel I feel very nervous before I start my live videos. But hi, thank you guys for joining me. Hi, Fifi. Hi, Umburu. Hi, Susan. Hi, Ben. Hi, Evelyn. It's nice to have you guys here. So I think in today's live, I'm going to be able to add a few people. I'm just using this application, or what will I call it, for the very first time. And I did it because I want to be able to add people so we can discuss and all of that. So if you want to join me when I'm ready to, bring people into the live, I guess you should be able to request on your end and I should be able to add you. God help me so that so I don't mess this up because I don't even know. Okay, I think I should be able to invite. I believe. Okay. Hopefully I get through this using StreamYard for the first time. But how are you guys doing? Today is Saturday here on my end. How is Saturday going? What have you done today? I'm still trying to post my I've seen it. Oh god. Okay. Just trying to post on my Insta stories. Okay. The last one of the vlogs I did, I said we're going to talk about why we have children. Trust see, it's not I don't have a particular thing to talk about, but I think we're just going to talk about just procreation, having children, raising children, the expectations, the regrets that could come with having children, raising them, in whatever country that you live in. I live in Nigeria, so raising them in whatever country that you live in, and I just want us to discuss. And there's not going to be any judgment whatsoever, so please speak your mind. I'm gonna speak my mind. Yeah, so that's basically what this video is going to be about, Sha. And you don't have to have children to, because from my first question, you see that you really don't have to have children to, join this live and all of that. Hi Amy TV. Hi Miss Blue Love. Hi, peace. Someone said she has done absolutely nothing. It's 10 a.m. and she's still in bed. 10 a.m. is still very early now. I think I left my room this morning by like 10:30 or maybe like 11 o'clock. So it's fine. On Saturdays, I don't like to get up early because it's not a school day. So I don't know. Should we just start or should we wait for people? Because I feel like if we're waiting for other people to join, then you guys will be here doing nothing. Let me post this thing on Instagram stories. I hope you're following me on Instagram, by the way. If you're not following me, follow me at Chinyereabang. Okay, so should we just start? Let me see your yes in the comments. If we should just, go straight into what I want us to talk about. I think I just want this live to be like for an hour. But we've done lives where we stayed for like 2 hours because the gist was hot. I don't know if this is going to be one of those lives, but hopefully this lasts for about an hour because I have children in my living room and I don't want to go and they've broken my TV. So I need to be, ears to the ground. Oh, someone said before she sleeps off. Okay, yeah. So let's just start. Why do we have kids? And this is me asking people that have kids and people that do not have kids. If you don't have kids right now and you've thought of having kids, why exactly do you want to have kids? Any reason, any particular reason? So while I wait for you guys to answer the questions, I think I can maybe get someone over now, or maybe we should discuss a bit before I invite someone that wants to join the live. Maybe let's talk a bit first before I, start doing the invite thing. God help me, I don't mess it up. But let me know. Yeah, I want to see your answers in the comments. Why do we have kids? Okay, why do we have kids? I think for me, when I started having children, it was a mix of societal expectations plus my own personal expectation, because I was like, you know what, if you're getting married, it's like there's always been a pattern to life. You're done with school, you get married, you have children, like that should be the next thing. And I think for me there was also this thing where I'd always felt that children make a marriage happy. So it's like, when you have a new child, things are good, it's all rainbows, everything, everybody's happy, you're happy, your husband is happy. So I think that was it for me. It was just really, following the pattern of things in quotes. So I think that was really it for me. And I sometimes I think back and I'm like, I think after having my second child, I now realize that it be like this second one, not be like the first one. Because I think having my second baby, and I've talked about this before, where I said, after having Grace, it took us 2 years to try again. No, we tried again after 2 years, and then we got pregnant, and then I had an ectopic pregnancy. So after having that ectopic pregnancy, I think I was just at that point where I was like, you know what, is this even, like, should I even be doing this? And then, we were not trying. We're not trying intentionally. We're just like, just go with the flow. And I now got pregnant again, and that was Ella. So at this point, it wasn't a case of me doing it because it was an expectation. I just did it for how Ella came was like, anyhow it goes. But then at some point, it now became a case of, okay, because I haven't had a child and I'd been trying, and was like, I have just one they've taken out the second part of my fallopian tube, and I'm like, oh my god, like, it's this point where you're like, I don't want something, but when that thing becomes difficult to get, it's like you're not trying to reach out for it. So I think that was what it was with my second child. So it wasn't the same thing with the first baby, because I think I had, experienced what being a mother was, the stress of it, the joys of it and everything. So I was able to kind of make a decision with my second child. So that's just what it was for me. So someone said to raise godly seeds that will impact the world and change lives. I took my time before having the babies. How many do you have now, Miss J? How many do you have now? Someone said, Marina says societal plus family expectations plus those wedding prayers of 9 months time. Wow. Whew. I hope people are not doing that, because I know, like, when we were younger and we didn't know much, it was always like after wedding you're just there looking, waiting to hear the good news, waiting to hear that someone is pregnant and they're ready to give birth. But it's not like that anymore. Now people can stay 2-3 years, and for me it's no surprise. Like, I won't start asking, why haven't they had a child? Oh my god, they might be looking for a child. Oh my god, maybe they're praying for the fruit of the womb. Because it used to be like that, where people get married and they don't have children, and everybody automatically thinks that they can't have children. I don't think it's like that any longer. Amy said, I've always loved to have mini me's so that I can call mine. Okay. Kimberly says, you make motherhood seem so easy. Thank you. Hi, Mrs. Lobisa. So Marina says, but eventually we came to the point where we wanted the next generation kids that we could nurture in a healthy and nourishing environment. For me, this whole raising children that we could nurture and children that would make the society a better place to live in, it came after I became a mother. So I would say that for me, I didn't have a big purpose when I was having children. It was just bare expectations, like, okay, yeah, let's do it. We have climbed, we have stepped, we have age, let's move over to the next thing. And then that was, having children. So all of this, the whole extra, being purposeful about having children, that did not come to me till after I had had children. So yeah, that was it for me. Hi lifestyle with Zeke, sending me love from Dubai. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me go over to my second question. Um, I also want to know. Okay, wait. So I asked why people want to have kids. Someone said just one for now. Okay, Miss J said she has just one for now because her mental health and physical health is extremely important. Combining career life, social life, and spiritual work plus wife life with no help is a lot. Yes, definitely. Yeah, well done. Well done on making the right decision and thinking very well about it, because a lot of us, when we're making those decisions, we didn't think this deep. We didn't think this deep. We're just like, let's just do it. And I think it's after having three children, I'm now like, hey, you have sense, man. You don't need any more. You don't need any more. Okay? You are fine like this. Do the one that you can deal with. Take the one that you can manage. Someone says she has four. So I don't know if any of you wants to join the live. Please let me know so we can just talk about it. So if you want to join the live, I think maybe leave a comment and I would invite you. God, I hope that is how this thing works, Father Lord. Or am I the one that is supposed to send the link? Hi, Naya's Corner. I think maybe I should. Okay, I think I'm supposed to paste the link and then you can join. Okay, so I want to know if there are mothers that are here. Has there been any time where you've had regrets about having children? Let me know. Has there been any time? I don't mean like. I mean most times being a mother, it's not like long-term regret. Like every day you're like, oh, I'm regretting this thing. But have there been times or things that have happened and you're just like, oh my God, I don't think I should have had this child. Like, oh, I regret doing this. Like, I shouldn't have done this. I have to send the link. Yes, I've copied the link. So I kind of want to ask a question so that it's very engaging. And then I'll paste the link. Yeah. So yeah, I want to know, have you ever had any regrets about having children, and what was that situation? What was that thing that happened that you were like, oh, I like, why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? I think for me, it has happened multiple times. For me, it has happened multiple times. Sometimes it comes in a flash. It's just like, phew, depending on the severity of the situation. I've had times when maybe more than one child is sick and I don't sleep at night and I have to wake up constantly, maybe clean for meat, mop their body. And I'm just like, God, why would anybody want to do this thing to themselves? What is Ella's real name? Ella's real name is Ella. Ella's real name is Ella. Ella, like there's no prefix. Okay, so I'm going to paste the link for anybody that wants to join. Okay. Yeah, so I just pasted the link. Someone said I don't have kids, but I look forward to seeing my own children and experiencing parenthood. And basically, what is it? And basically the curiosity of seeing what they turn out to be. Right, that makes sense. So I've pasted the link. So also I've never thought about having kids, got married and had two, tired and not planning on having another. So there was no plan, right? You just jumped into it like okay, it's just like expected, like I said. Um I think there was someone I read that said she has five. Yeah, Barbara's reality. She said I have five and I've never had any regrets. It gets hard sometimes. Oh, is it just the noise and shouting? I'm sorry, because explain to us how you're doing it. You have five children, and the only thing that makes it get hard sometimes is their noise and their shouting. Hello, hi, sis. Are you here already?
You
Okay,
can see
okay.
me. Oh, hey.
Yes, I can.
How are
Woo.
you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much. So it's so weird because this is something that me and my sister we just started talking about recently. And I tell myself if I had the chance now to go back, I won't have kids. Not because I don't
Right,
love kids. I love them so well. But the way this world is going, it's giving me anxiety. You know,
right,
for you to
right.
put all the work, because here in America, you all know that childcare is very expensive. So we take care of our kids till they go
Yeah,
to school at age 5. So you
yeah,
try to teach them everything that is right, teach them to be respectful, teach them not to curse. But then they get into school and a lot of things change. For example,
influence.
my kids came back one day and my daughter said, "Hey, my classmate told me what P and A is. P is for the front and A is for the back." And the boy
Mm,
showed her what P is. I don't want to use the bad
mm,
word on YouTube, and
yeah,
what A is. So how do I
yeah,
control all these things to tell my child you
yeah,
don't use those words, you
yeah,
don't talk to such people, you know? So you put so
yeah,
much work, and
yeah,
then they
yeah.
leave, and everything changes. And we know what this world is
Mm,
turning into today. I'm not
mm-hmm,
gonna
mm-hmm.
mental, we all have our own preferences and whatnot, but I'm so scared. I'm like, when we
Mm,
were growing up, my parents didn't have to worry about educating us so early about a lot of
mm,
things, but
mm,
now I find myself talking to my children all the time, telling them
mm-hmm.
that you can't let someone touch you here, you can't let someone do this, all the things that
Yeah,
my parents never told me
don't
about.
tell you.
My
Yeah,
kids are 5 and 6, and now I have to tell them that don't let people do this, don't do that, don't do that. And then it seems like everything you've taught them, once they leave the house, it's like they're
just close.
learning new things. So
Yeah,
all I'm coming on here to say is that we all have our own struggles. There are a lot of things that I have to deal with as a mom to young kids, but we
mm,
all go through these things. You understand?
yeah,
So one thing
yeah,
I do is to make sure I have some kind of communication with them. I talk to them all the time.
yeah.
I'm trying to build a friendship with them, so that
Mm-hmm.
way when things happen, they can easily
They
talk
come
to
back
me.
to you.
But I'm just
Yeah,
telling everybody on your life that have children, please talk to them. Please build some kind of friendship with them, so that way they
mm-hmm.
can easily come to you and tell you what's going on. And then you
Mm,
can teach them what is right from wrong. You
yeah,
understand? And I'm a Christian as well. So I pray to God and say, God, the one that I can do, you do it. But
do
the
it.
one that I can do, please
Mm-hmm.
help me. So that way, that small training that I gave them will not go and disappear when we get outside.
Yeah,
But we all
yeah.
have the struggle. Every day I'm like, if I have to do it again, I love
You
you,
want,
kids,
yeah,
but I won't bring them into this world because my
yeah,
parents didn't have to worry this much about me. And I grew up in
yeah,
Nigeria, they didn't have to worry about me.
yeah,
Now my kids are in
yeah,
America, I'm worried about them. But
yeah,
that's just all I want to add. We're all in this together. So
yeah.
let's
Yeah,
just
and
pray.
I'm happy that now we have like we have a better community, unlike it was parenting in those days where people didn't really have people that they could share their experiences with, and learn from. So I'm happy that at least we kind of have that now. And then that's one of the good things about the internet, where we have, we can see people that are going through the same
Exactly.
struggles that we're going through and all of that. I think it makes it a
Exactly.
little bit easier, just a bit,
It
just a
does.
bit.
When I speak to my
Yeah,
friends, they're telling me, "Oh, we go through the same thing." Oh yeah, my son has done that before. Oh yeah, my daughter has done that because I have a girl and a boy. And one day, my girl just opened her legs and said la 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 and shut her legs back. She was playing with her brother, but in my mind, I'm like, Jesus Christ, who taught you that? Who in school taught you that?
yeah,
Did your friend teach you that? You understand? So my head starts to
yeah.
go crazy. Like I never did this when I was 6 years old. So where'd you
Mm-hmm.
get that idea? She was like, "Oh, my brain told me to." So I told her, "Okay, if your brain is telling you to do something crazy, come talk to mommy and let's discuss if you should do it or not." But the
Mm-hmm.
big thing is communication with your kids. Have a friendship with them. I'm a very
Mm,
strict mom, but I have a friendship
yeah,
with kids whereby I'd never want them to hesitate to come talk to me when they think something is right or wrong. You understand?
yeah,
And then God will
yeah,
help us through the rest. Thank you for
yeah.
adding me
Amen.
in here. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much for
All right.
coming. Thank you so,
Bye.
so much. Bye. Okay, so a lot of comments were coming in. Um okay, so someone said I have had regrets about having children when I did. I wish I waited longer. I'm working full time on the school plus YouTube on the side. Combining that with motherhood is a lot. I wish I waited. Sometimes the only emotions I go through is when I feel like I'm not doing enough for my kids. I think that we all get this once in a while, and that means that you're doing really good, to be honest. Because for you to just think that, oh, I'm not doing enough, that means you've actually attempted to do something. Like you've done something, you've done a lot, and you feel like you should do more. So that means that you're doing well, to be honest. We can't do everything. I can't count how many times I come on Instagram and I see maybe mothers do like homeschooling, or like home like home play, or like children activities that they can do at home, and I'm like, oh Chinyere, oh my god, are you doing anything at this point? Are you really doing anything? So I think we all have that experience. Someone says, I have two boys. Hi Sunome. Says, I have two boys, and as a single mother, it has been the most amazing decision ever. Even in my singleness, I'm satisfied. I had my first at 20. I like that. Thank you. So at least it would uplift some people, because I guess everybody's situation is different. Some are married, some are single, some are on the verge of giving birth. So yeah, thank God for that. The anxiety is real, yes. Barbara is not of this world. She does it effortlessly. Who is Barbara? Which Barbara are you talking about? Did I say any Barbara here? Oh, Barbara's reality. Oh, okay. Barbara's reality has 5 kids. Ah, wow. Nice. I watch her YouTube channel and I'm constantly amazed. Okay, I'll check you out when I'm done. Barbara's reality. As the only child from my mom, I knew from a very young age. Please, if anybody wants to join the live, please let me know. I don't know, is the link the same thing? I'm just about to paste the link. So if you want to join the live, let me know. Or just click on the link. You don't even need to let me know. Just click on the link. As the only child from my mom, I knew from a very young age that I'll have 4 children. I have 4 beautiful children. Oh, that's amazing. Whew. So considering that my husband is an only child, I'm not sure he wants multiple children. I don't he has never been someone that would say, oh, I want so many children. But I think he's kind of fine where we are. I think so. I think you tell them I think you tell them yourself. These days you have to introduce them to things so early, yes. And I think the whole idea of introducing them to things so early is so that other people don't introduce them to it before you, which I think in some cases it even happens. In many cases it happens. There are things that you've not told your children and then they'll hear it from somebody else. It's scary. I have the same fear with this caller. Is the peers, you instill things in them and give them the fear of what they come across in the outside world. Building that friendship is very important. I do my part and let God crown it all. Kitty Cat says, I'm thinking to have another baby. Is that nobody wants to join this live? I don't know. Is my face scaring you people? Because I have dropped the link and nobody's joining the live. I'm thinking to have another baby or not, but it's very expensive to raise kids, private schools, etc. Maybe not. Yeah. Your pocket is also very important. Know what you can afford to do. Some people don't even think like that, but the fact that you're thinking that means that you want the best for them. So that's good. Um, Great point, SC. Okay. Someone said my son came home. I was playing with his sister and I heard the word bitch. I was lost because we don't use that word. So what did you tell him, Mrs. Lobisa? What did you tell him? How did you handle it? I really want to know. I spoke to my parents and they actually had the same worries or fears. In fact, I wonder how they survived without social media and a community that was open as this new generation. Right. I think a lot of parents bottled a lot of things and a lot of them pretended that certain things were fine when they were not. I think that happened a lot. Okay, Kate is trying to come on the live. Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Nice to have you here.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. I can hear you. I can see your son. Hi.
Hi. Okay. So,
Nice to meet you.
I just wanted to say, coupled with the anxiety that parents have these days with having children,
Yeah.
the country itself is not
Yeah.
helping matters. I mean, the
Yeah.
southeast, to be precise, in Nigeria, southeast, and we have
Mm.
this lockdown every 1 or 2 days, and I'm like, what's happening? They tell us to
Mm.
sit at home today, tomorrow we're allowed to move about, and the anxiety keeps on creeping up on
Yeah.
us. You wonder what's happening with the children. I don't know what to tell them when they tell when they tell me, oh, we're not going to school today, I don't know how to explain to them what's going on.
Yeah.
And it messes up my mind because on Saturdays, some children are going to school, and I'm like, why? Because they need to come up with they need to catch up with their curriculum, so they had to go to school on Saturdays. So
Yeah.
it's really mind-boggling what's happening, and I wonder how single people see it today. And I can understand why someone would say that they find it very difficult to consider having children in this day
Yeah.
and age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my own contribution, I have three boys, I have three children, and it's not easy to say. It's not
Yeah.
easy to take care of them. I wouldn't blame anyone for that, for
Yeah.
that decision. If I had
Especially.
my way, I would say I would say no. I love them to death, but I would just keep up for them. But my
Yeah.
own contribution is that everyone should take care of their mental health before considering bringing in
Kids.
a life into
Yeah.
this world. Everyone should be really, really careful, because at this point, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else. So
Someone else. Yeah, very important. That was also one thing I noted because I wanted to say, and I think how we feel about motherhood really depends, or parenting really depends on the country that you live in. Because in some countries it's easier, and in Nigeria is a whole different story entirely. So Barbara's reality is here. She has 5 children. 5.
wow.
Hey, yes.
Oh
We need
my
to crown
God.
you. Hi.
Hello,
Nice to have you here.
everyone. Hi.
Well, I'm going to check out your YouTube channel because I've never come across your name before. So I'm going to check you out. You say
Really?
you do this effortlessly.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, where do you live?
strong women in the house. I hear you now. I hear you now. We can do
Hi
this. We
too.
got this. We got this.
We do. We
Yes, yes.
do.
We thank God, man. It's only by God's grace. We thank God.
What do you say, Kate?
I said I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she keeps herself in check and her
Yeah.
mental
Oh,
health. I don't know how she does it. I think you should share some tips on how you do it, because some of us who have 2 and 3, we are
Great.
running mad. We're like
I
mad.
do run
Right.
mad sometimes. Like I said, the noise. Like initially, I wanted 6,
The
but it only
noise.
took me a week. It took me a week. About a month ago, I changed my mind. I'm like, no more 6 because the noise. They were home for like a week, and the noise that like constant.
But it's just
fighting.
like, I mean, come on. If you've done 5, what is one more? That's a lie. I don't think you've completely changed your mind because if you
That
could
is
have 5,
The thing is,
why
I
can't
did
you have
it.
6?
The thing is, I did it on my own. I changed my mind on my own. And then one day, my husband was just like, there are certain decisions in life that sometimes he doesn't tell you. You just take it on your own. He himself, he was going through the same thing. He's like, yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah. It gets tough sometimes.
Wow.
My main issue is the noise. I just believe it's the stage. They'll get past it, but it's
How
just
old is
that
your
noise.
first?
My first
How old is
is
your first?
9. He turned 9 in September. I have twins,
Mm.
so maybe that, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have
Okay, that makes
9
sense.
years old, 4, 2 threes, and 7 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
We thank
Do
God.
you
I
have
mean,
help?
no,
Do you
no,
have
no,
help? Hey,
no.
wow.
Jesus.
You
I
don't have
don't
to.
have. I
Hey, God.
don't. Unfortunately, no. I mean, when I had my second son, I decided to get a help. She only stayed for like a month because I love to work. I love to do things on my own. So she was an older lady. So she was just there doing nothing. I just felt like I don't really need her,
Yeah.
because I can do it. Even when I had twins, so I didn't really need any help. We're just doing it. My husband was working full time. I still work part time. And I'm still in school, graduating in December with my master's. So
Hey.
I mean, I just believe it's just by God's grace. I can't take all the glory, but it's just teamwork. Teamwork. That's one thing.
Teamwork. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
teamwork.
very
That
true.
helps
Very
a
true.
whole lot. A whole lot.
Yeah.
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 So
Makes
Yeah.
sense. And then I
That
think the dynamics of things for those of us that live here is different from you guys that live abroad. Because first
yeah.
of all, the fact that many of you don't have help, that means that your partners have to be almost fully involved
yeah,
in
they
whatever
have.
is going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still do most of it because I just believe, okay, he's making the bread. Let me just,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
need
Do
the
that
bread too.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to balance it up. I get the craziness, but my me time is a priority. So I don't play with that because I don't want to go crazy just being a mom, like getting. I need to feel
Yeah.
me too. I
Exactly.
have to have my me time. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
That makes
balance
sense.
it up, and then I do it happily. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I mean, it's just something I
Well
enjoy. So,
done. Well done. So you guys should check out her channel. I haven't
oh,
I'll check it out
thank
when I'm
you.
done. Barbara's Reality.
Yeah, vlog. I do
Because
vlogs about.
like
I
I
share my
said, when
life.
we have a community like this and we're able to watch each other, it does a lot for us as
I'm
mothers. It
glad I
does
was
so
able
much.
to catch your
You can't
life because you
understand.
always talk about topics that like are very engaging. So yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoy your
Thank you for
vlogs too.
coming
I'm a
on.
subscriber. Being a subscriber, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so
It's
much.
really
Thank
good.
you for
It's
your
really good to
platform
have you
sharing. I mean, we can do this.
here.
We are built that we can do it. It gets hard sometimes, but the
Yeah.
joy that comes out of it, seeing your kids like raising them right, that's just the
Yeah.
prayer. That's what I tell God every day. I'm doing my part. I know you put me here to do this. I'm doing my part, but please crown it all. And so far,
Yeah.
my kids, my older one, he's doing good. I just came from a teacher's parent meeting, and his teacher was telling me he's the best in his class, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
We've had the kids. Like I was just telling my husband this morning, I'm like, we've had the kids. Now is to raise them right.
Yeah.
Is to raise them. So we have like tutors. My husband is from Nigeria. So my first son, he just got off a tutor class, a computer class from someone teaching him from Nigeria. And we have another
Okay.
1 year. So we try to do what we have to do because it will pain me so much. I have that fear, like the first caller said, like just knowing that your children, you instill what you instill in them, and then when they
Yeah.
go out, they start deviating. But
Yeah.
that's, yeah, it's important to start it young, just like the Bible says. While they are
Yeah.
young, you do it so that way when they go, they will not depart from it. So, but
Yeah.
sometimes it still doesn't go that way. We've seen terrible
Exactly.
things on the internet. You raise a
Mm-hmm.
child, you give birth to a child, you call that child your own, you are so happy, take the child to church for dedication,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
child wake up one day, stab
And
you, do
besides,
terrible thing. It pains so much, so much.
yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
fear most of us parents we have.
Have.
We have that.
Mm.
But it's
Yeah.
only to pray, constant prayer, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Let them learn from your own example. I try to do that. I feel sometimes I do, but I try to snap back and like, okay, so be
Yeah.
that the best parent, teacher, anything you can be to your children. So
Yeah.
we just try to do it that way. Sometimes we have to push it, but we just have to do it. We have to do it because
Mm-hmm.
it's the memory
Mm-hmm.
they are creating. We don't want to raise children that will grow up and start thinking of memories that are not making sense in their head. So
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
things we do, it helps. It helps.
Very
So
important. Yeah.
I learn from other mothers on YouTube. When I go on the channel, learn
Mm-hmm.
tips. That's why the platform is there.
It's there. Yeah.
You pick what you want to pick and you trash it
Yeah.
on
And
the road.
drop the
Yeah.
ones we don't
So
want to.
that's just
Yeah.
it. Wow. Thank you so much, sisters.
Thank you. Where are you from? You said your husband's from Nigeria. So where are you from?
I'm from Cameroon.
Ah, whoa, my friend from I have a
Yeah,
friend from
neighbors. We
Cameroon.
are neighbors. We are neighbors.
Yes,
Don't
we
worry, when
are.
I
We
come
are.
to Nigeria for my first time, I will look for you.
Oh, nice. So where
Yes.
did you get married? Did you get married over there?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense.
And
Okay.
Cameroon, yeah. Cameroon. His mom is from Cameroon, but he's Nigerian,
Okay.
Yoruba. So, yeah. Did
Okay.
the traditional
Okay.
in Cameroon.
Okay,
So,
so what you say you have tutors in Nigeria? Are they teaching your children? Is it the
they're teaching
language?
the older one, computer lessons. Because my
Okay,
husband, he's in
okay,
IT, so he wants the children
okay,
to like get that. So yeah,
okay. That
it's
knowledge. Okay.
yes, but he has a tutor here, a white guy who teaches him like different like science, maths, and all whatnot. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
we busy. I don't have time for that. I'm not built that way. I can parent, but
Right.
the real
Yeah.
teaching, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also something that mothers need to know, that you can't do everything.
No, no, no,
Understand that there are things you
Mm-mm.
can't do.
No,
Have
I
to
can't.
things to some people because you can't be everything to everyone at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
probably say that with my full chest, I cannot do
Yeah.
that, and I need to slay, do my
Yeah.
makeup.
Ah, my
I cannot
sister,
do it all. Oh
I'm
no,
telling you.
I like enjoyment, Sha.
I didn't tell you, I'm telling you, we need to
No,
admit that. I think that's kind of
oh
what I
for
was telling
real.
someone. Yeah, when
And
someone
my,
was saying she feels that she's not doing enough, and I think that's, you know what, we're just built to feel that we have to do
yeah, yeah, and I'm not
every
ashamed. My
single
husband
thing.
understands that, so he knows my strength and my weakness. I'm not, yeah. I'm good around the house. I'm good raising kids. I'm good having them, but I don't like stress.
Mm,
I don't want to stress too much. Like even to
yeah,
make money, I leave him to do that part. I work part-time just because I
yeah,
need something for myself, but I let
self,
him,
yeah,
I know his own specialty too. So it's just teamwork. I do this one, let him, when he's
yeah,
working, the kids are disturbing, I have to make sure I put them in check so he can make the money for the
have
family.
time.
So it's just teamwork.
Exactly.
It's just team. Then when
Yeah,
it comes weekend that he's not working, we try to engage them in activities, stuff
yeah,
like that when we can. So yeah. So
yeah.
it's just teamwork. I just thank God because it's not easy. My second marriage, though, is my second marriage. The first one
Okay.
was not like that. Not everybody is built that way to help out in their house. My first marriage
Yeah,
was not like that. So I just thank God for this blessing because it's not
yeah,
easy. He does. Without him, I don't think I'll be able to do it by myself. It'll be stressful. I can
mm,
do it, but it'll be stressful. But he takes off that burden, like
You
engaging and
have
doing his own
very
part. So yeah,
partner to
yeah.
for a woman, for a wife, a mother to do everything. She has to have a support system. If it's not the partner, it has to
Uh-huh.
be some other person, your
mm-hmm,
mother. The
Yeah,
mother, you have to have
exactly.
her.
With these children, I
yeah,
don't promise I can't serve you food every day on the table. No, I cannot do that.
mm-hmm,
We put some and we take some out. With
yeah,
5 children, I cannot be doing your laundry every day. So you have to. So that's just how because you have to
yeah.
change the narrative sometimes because else
Of
you kill
course,
yourself. You
you
bend
do
your
yourself,
back.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it has
So
to work for you at the end of the day.
yes, you have to be happy. You
I
have
don't
to be
know
happy.
now. I don't know when to start delegating like chores to the kids. My children are 5, 4, and 1 right now. So the 5-year-old is doing some things, he's showing some interest in some things. So there's some my friend often tells me that yeah, you have to start introducing them to some chores so they can help
Mhm.
you out with some work in the house
Mm,
and leave some
Right.
burden about you. As they grow
yeah,
up, they become more independent and all that.
mm-hmm,
Right. My
mm-hmm,
mom is my biggest role model. So she gave me a tip like weekend. My son, let him wash his underwears, just like we did it back home. You cannot use the machine. So every weekend, like underwear from within the week, soak it for him. So he does the washing. I put him in the tub, he does the washing. So those chores, they do help because trust me,
mm,
I grew up strong, so I know the things that work for me, and I want the same for my children. So
yeah,
it's not just spoiling them. This
mm,
gadget, that we can afford it, but we don't do it. We don't do it.
yeah.
Sometimes it's a tough love. It
Okay, you
is.
said you didn't. You said you don't know when to start delegating kids, right?
Yeah.
5, I think 5 is a good
I
age.
think yeah, even 4. My
Yeah.
daughter is 4, but she
Really?
can do things like it can start from like the smallest things. It could be
Mhm.
okay at the end of the day, pick the pillows up from the floor, in the living room, put them on the chairs. It could be maybe close the windows. They just those little things that that. I think it's just important to try to intentionally engage them in something so they
It's
know
very
that they're
important.
something and they're part of how the home runs, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and they enjoy it. They do enjoy it, and they start doing it even without you telling them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
because
I feel like as they get older, they don't enjoy it that much any longer. Because when I look
yeah,
at
That's what
my 10-year-old, it's like the things she used to be so excited about to do, I almost have to beg her or force her to do it. The
right.
smaller ones are now like dragging for the work, like, oh, let me do this, oh,
Yes.
let me watch this. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if
they are
I allow
less
you to watch it now, when you
about
grow
this
now, you start
right.
giving me problems. What do you say again?
They are less, I said they are less enthusiastic when they start growing
Exactly.
up. So
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, the most important thing is involving them anyway. And
yeah.
even when they grow old, even they don't want to do it, they have to do it. You don't have a
Keep
choice.
yeah.
trying, keep pushing it.
You don't
Yeah,
have a choice. Yeah, you don't have a choice.
and
But start
rewards,
small.
rewards too. You can reward them after they do certain things.
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
kids like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then
Another
again,
thing
you say, yeah, go on,
you
Kate.
Okay, another thing that bothers me about motherhood, and I think it also bothers other ladies, is like how to walk around their schedule and providing meals for their children, like
Mm.
getting meals ready. Because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and it burdens me. I wonder how it works for a 9 to 5 woman or a woman that works from home. It's like every day, what do you eat? What do you get for your family? Because again, I'm in the southeast. 1 or 2 days they tell you to stay at home, and you're like rushing to the market to do last minute buying so that you can stay indoors and not lack anything. So it's like the anxiety again comes in. Like, what exactly are we doing? What am I eating? What am I feeding these children? What are they going to eat when they're going to school the next? It's mind-boggling. So I don't know how people plan it, but
Are
I
your
really
kids like good eaters? Do your kids like are they good eaters?
Or
yes,
are they
they
picky?
eat.
Then
They
that's
eat.
easy.
They eat
Unlike some
anything
of us that our kids are picky.
Half picky eaters.
Yeah.
I give them. Although they don't like some things, but I force them to eat them. But yeah, they're good eaters. Yeah.
I think one thing I've noticed is that there are actually like a lot of meals. There are a lot of meals. But the thing is that not all of us we make all of them.
No.
I've just accepted that even with the meals I see mothers making, I'm like, hey, wow, this woman, I
Sometimes
love
I
this.
feel
I'm
that
not
way.
going to make it. I won't make it. I can make it that maybe like a special meal. Maybe there's one weekend that I have so much energy. I'm like, okay, let me just make this thing for them. But I've noticed that it's not going to be a consistent thing. It's not going to work in the long run. We're going to eat our very regular meals, yam, beans, rice, swallow, and it's like that's it.
Chinyere,
Honestly.
I feel that way too, but sometimes I console myself that what I see on YouTube, I don't think it's a consistent thing. If I watch someone doing it, I think we all face that struggle. I don't think it's a
Right.
consistent thing. That's what they
Mm.
chose to show us at that because I've done the
At
same
that
thing. I
point in
prepare
time.
healthy meals and come see me buying Lunchables for my kids for lunch. So I don't think it's a consistent
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yeah, so that's
Mm-hmm.
how I console. We all go through that struggle, trust me. It's not
Yeah.
easy to like just
Anyway,
be
when it's not like you have
consistent.
a cook, it's still part of the you can't do everything because
Mm-mm.
some meals are easier. The regular meals we eat are easier to prepare. So
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you're thinking of any other thing, it's something that you probably won't even find around. Like you won't step into the market and find it easily to buy. You
Right.
understand? So just understand that it's either you're going to do it once in a while or don't put too much pressure on yourself. Really.
I think mothers in general are perfectionists. Like, we
Yeah.
want to get everything right. I think once
Right.
you become a mother, you just want to be perfect. Right from the
Yeah.
time your child has been born, you don't want anything to go wrong. And I think that runs on as the child grows up. You just want them to
Mhm.
have the best meals, the best
Yeah.
everything, and we end up letting ourselves down. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think we are more perfectionists as mothers.
So someone is saying it's more difficult to raise children in the abroad, and I don't think like everybody's going to say it's difficult for them to raise. I mean, how can you tell me it's more difficult to raise children in the abroad when me I'm in
It is
Nigeria?
so
So the one I'm experiencing is what
it is
I don't understand.
difficult. It's difficult, you know.
Mm.
It is.
Eh.
I don't think so.
Everybody with their difficulties.
We all go
Everybody with
through
their
it. It's
difficulties, though.
difficult.
But I don't
Mm.
think so. I don't think so. I think it's easier for them. In my mind, though, in my mind, because
Yeah, I
I'm
just
not
feel
I'm not
that.
so here over here I think it's harder because the problems you face with helps. It's another thing altogether. Finding a good help, finding someone that bonds with your children, like not like you do, but almost like treating them like theirs or something. Finding them is really hard, and maintaining them, because some of them stay up to like how many months and they leave, and you start the cycle again, looking for another. It's really hard. But in my mind, I can do without them, but not in Nigeria. That's why I say it's easier for us. for me in my mind over there.
I get you, but I think that we have different difficulties. The
Yeah.
abroad moms, they have their difficulties, so I think it's just not right saying, oh, it's more difficult and it's a lot more, it's a lot easier down here, because again, like I was reading, even like I think I read that there's a country that gives like 100 and something days of paid leave. I think Finland. So even in the abroad, it's easier in some areas and it's more difficult in some areas. Barbara, do you live in the US?
Yes.
What's the what do you call, like, after you have a child, your maternal leave, maternity
Yeah.
leave, what's it like?
Personally for me, because I'm not working with my degree. Like I said, I'm graduating in December with my master's. So the job I'm doing right now, it doesn't really have a lot of benefits. So, but
Okay.
like my sister, her job, she gets like 3 months maternity leave, paid maternity leave. So for me, it's just like maybe
Yeah.
a month
Because even 3 months is
pay.
like,
But usually I go back to work after 3 weeks or so. Yeah.
so you have someone watching your baby while you go
My
back to work.
husband, my husband.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He's good. He's good at it. Even with the twins, I was back to work after a month, and he will stay with them. And that's why I say teamwork has worked for me. So yeah,
Hmm.
Very
yeah.
important.
Because my mom is here. She will only visit and stay for like a month, but then she'll go back, and then we continue with our own.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I think we just have like different difficulties that
Yeah,
that,
we
we, that
have
we're going
different
through. Different
difficulties. Because
difficulties.
help here in the abroad is not easy. It's quite
It's
expensive.
expensive.
Very expensive.
And we get it a lot cheaper, but our
Yeah.
problem now is finding the person. And again, when you find somebody and they do something, we don't have like a functional database to say, okay, I have a picture of this person, this is her fingerprint, this is the glass she drank from, please help us find her. It's like
Mm-hmm.
somebody can easily disappear into thin air. So it's just like
Nothing.
nothing, so we just have like different
Yeah,
problems.
just it's same here because most of the helps like people get is like it's not like from a company because if you want to get the one from a company is really like maybe 3 times more expensive than you getting like maybe someone's elderly mom or
Okay.
that can cost like maybe 1 3. It just depends on the number of children.
You have,
So
okay.
yeah, but getting from you pay hourly and it's going to be very, very expensive, very expensive. So
Mm,
still, people just get people's relative and stuff like that.
mm.
Yeah,
Then healthcare
and they
again,
don't
like
even
we
do
said,
much.
healthcare.
We
They
don't
don't
get
even do
what we
much.
pay for. We don't get what we pay for because there's nothing
Really.
much to do. You can't just leave your
Mm,
kids in people's hands too. There's nothing much to do. So
mm.
most often they just come. They don't do much. So it was really a
I think
waste
maybe,
for
maybe
me.
maybe they get to do much. Maybe if you're a working mom and you have to go out to work, then
Yeah.
they stay like with your
The
children.
kids they go to school, yeah, and at what age?
Okay. Yeah.
Because if they
Well.
stay home with an elderly, what are they learning? They're not really learning much,
Yeah.
other than
Yeah, but
you.
like those, like the younger ones, like when you have like 3-year-olds, what time do your children start school?
My 3 years they go to school right now. They start by 8:30, then school out by 3:30. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Like
it's
I said,
just we all
anyway.
have different struggles. Back
Yeah,
home
different
struggle,
struggles.
yeah, abroad struggle,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
So
think I think I think for us it's also because the government doesn't work here
yeah.
as much as it works over there. So that just like
Yeah, it's hard, true.
it just messes up a lot of things. It's just like, hey
It
God,
doesn't work here. You call 911, there's an emergency, nothing is happening.
nothing really. Okay. I wanted to be there was something else that someone mentioned that I wanted to just. Well, someone says Dubai gets 45 days paid maternity leave. That's not bad. I heard Finland gets, I think, 164 days of
Yeah, I
paid.
heard that too.
That's a long time. That's over 4 months, over 5 months. If that's over 5 months, so even you can even do exclusive comfortably. And so someone says, can we talk about how to balance work life and motherhood?
Um, I saw somewhere where someone wrote there's no balance.
Yeah,
that,
yeah, right. There's no balance.
that you just
Mm.
have to take little bits of everything and the rest of it act like nothing is wrong.
Yeah, even if,
That's
and then
true.
there's also the thing of most times if you're doing one thing, something is suffering on the other end. But the
Yeah.
thing is, can the suffering happen and like nothing bad happens after the suffering? If that makes sense, like the suffering can actually happen. Like everybody will not die, nobody will die when that suffering occurs. So it's like just do the one you can. But at the end of the day, everything is not all going to be rosy. There's always going to be that lack.
Yeah,
One area
true.
is lacking, one area is picking up, and then it goes the other way around. And they said it's
Yeah.
more difficult abroad. They usually don't have as much help as we do, and society's value most time clash with ours, especially if you're a Christian. But will you say it's more difficult, or we just have like we said, we all just have the difficulty. I don't think there's any way we can, come up with that it's more difficult for people abroad or more. I mean, I don't think light alone is even a problem for us here. Light on its own is a big issue for us. So that's it. Um, um, well, abroad schools are better, while in Africa, good schools are too pricey.
Thank God that this person mentioned schools because I wanted to bring up something. I don't know how they do it over there, but I was listening to BBC, or is it, I don't know, one of the British morning news. They were talking about how schools are now introducing the LGBTQ, the alphabetical community, and their agenda into the schools. And I don't know how parents you guys deal with it there, but are there schools that are pro LGBTQ, or are there
Mm,
schools that are anti LGBTQ? Because I don't know what's
yeah,
happening there.
yeah, that makes sense. Or is it like a government? Is it something that is like forced
Controlled by the
upon them
government,
by the government?
just have to do with this school the child
You mean
goes to.
abroad? Are you talking
Yes,
about?
Yeah.
yes.
I really don't know about the
But
LGBTQ when it
nobody's
comes to
talking about
school.
in your children's school, right?
Right now, my kids they go to like I would say government public school. My older one, when we first like he was going to a private school, he was there for like 4 years, private school where we pay out of pocket monthly. Yeah, monthly, which was very expensive. Then I mean, having more kids, then we realized okay, there's no need when the government is providing something for you free. There's no need like sending him to private school. You can use that money. That's when we engage tutoring. We can spend that money and instead of paying that to the school, we can spend the money and just have him have like tutors that will teach him. That way they all go to
Extra.
yeah, because 5 kids private school is gonna be way more expensive. So he's the only one that benefit from that. So we're just gonna monitor the kids. They teach really good the private school, so we just have to monitor them and see if any of them will need that private education. Then we can. But so far they are
Yeah,
doing good in public school.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, but so far you've not had any or had any inclusion of like the whole LGBTQ community
No,
or
no,
anything.
no.
No. Okay.
But
Hi,
when it comes to
Marina.
public
Nice
Hi
to
school,
have
public
you.
everyone.
school is
Hi.
that's there are certain things that public school like okay they is like they tolerate, but private school they don't tolerate. So discipline is really strict in private school. Like my son had this one instance. He's in third grade. He had an instance in public school where he went to use the bathroom and his classmate was smoking. That's what peer. Mingling with your peers. His classmate was smoking, and then he came back to his teacher, just like we taught him, don't do anything, report back to your teacher. So he came back to his teacher and told the teacher. So they had to call the boy's parent and suspend the boy. And when they looked at the camera, they didn't just take his word, it's what was actually happening. They went to the bathroom and they could smell the cigarette. So public school is mixed with like truant kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's hard sometimes.
Hi, Jenny, and hi, Marina. Nice to have you guys
Hi.
here.
Hi, sis Marina.
Yeah, nice to be here. I've been here since. Hi, Barbara. How you doing?
Hey, boo.
Okay, so I'm just going to join. I'm just going to join from the conversation we're already having about schools and LGBT. So in Canada, it's public, Catholic, or private. That's how our schools are divided. You don't have to be a Catholic to have your kids in a Catholic school because I am not Catholic and my children attend a Catholic school. So for public schools, what is happening now in some provinces is that they're starting up like LGBT clubs in the schools, in public schools. And the catch in this is the most difficult part is the school is not obligated to tell the parents of children who are in that club. That's where the problem is. So you can have a kid who decides that, you know what, I think I'm a girl, even if I look like a boy. I'm going to join this LGBT club, and the school will protect that child as against notifying their parents. So there's a lot of back and forth going on with the legislation to say, no, it can't be. You cannot care for my child more than I care for them, even though there are extreme parents who have tried to put queer children through like conversion therapies. They are now fighting those things to make sure conversion therapy becomes illegal. So that if a child says, I'm a boy, even though I have the outward appearance of a girl, even if I have physical features of a girl, a parent cannot try to change that child's mind. So yeah, it's very messy.
So do they
but
have
that's
like
in the public school
age
system.
limit, age restriction, even when they are minors?
As of today, I don't think so, because they believe that children as young as 3 can begin to identify to say, even though I'm a boy, I feel like I'm a girl that's trapped in the boy's body. So it's messy. It's really messy. And then speaking of Canada as well, maternity leave here is 12 months and it can go as high as 18 months if you like. Wow. The way maternity leave is done here, you're not paid by your employer, you're paid by employment insurance. So we all contribute to employment insurance every month. It's a mandatory federal deduction that comes out of our paycheck. So if you lose your job, employment insurance starts to pay you until you get another job. If you have a baby, you can have paid maternity leave for the first 17 weeks, and then parental leave kicks in up to 52 weeks. And if you want it extended to 18 months, it's the same amount of money they would have paid you in 12 months. They just split it to 18 months so you can have a longer time with your baby and earn the same amount. So some things are good. And to go to Adese's point about raising children, parenting is more difficult abroad. I don't totally agree with that because my children were born in Nigeria. So I've been a parent in Nigeria and I'm now living here in Canada, and the stressors are very different. It's not going to be comparing apples to apples if you put it on the table and say one part is easier. I think there were things that happened to me in Nigeria that were easy, the access to help, the access to community. Like I remember one day I was at work in Nigeria and something was happening. I bought rat poison to kill rats that took over my house in Nigeria, and the fumes from the thing that I put, it was so toxic that my cousin and my daughter couldn't stay in my house. They couldn't stay inside the house. It got really toxic inside. I didn't know that's how the thing was. I called my neighbor. She was around. My daughter and my cousin just went right next to my neighbor's place and stayed there all day until I got home from work. That's not going to happen here. I know how many times I have seen my next door neighbor. That's not going to happen, But the cheap access to help, the cheap access to just being able to say, you know what, last minute inconvenience, I don't have to call you, I just show up at your door. That's an advantage in Nigeria. Here, the difference is that the systems work. The systems work. It protects everybody. So you can't abuse your child. You can't abuse your help. Yes. You can't owe salaries. Those things is more structured here. The disadvantages here, on the other hand, are things like what I just talked about. Like, how can you say my child is in LGBT club? You will not tell me. In which school in Nigeria would they even first start LGBT club? I don't know. I heard things are going crazy now, so maybe. So the stressors are different. The advantages and the disadvantages there are advantages and disadvantages on both sides. Okay. So to now go back to the initial topic of why do we have children? In actual sense, it was from the beginning for me, I just thought, when you get married, the next thing is to have children. That's what the expectation was. When you attend those weddings and they are praying for the new couple, you hear things like in 9 months we'll come back and things like that. You know, for us, my husband and I had the conversation before we even got married to say, hey, what kind of children do we want to raise? Because the first step in being an effective parent is recognizing what the shortcomings of the parenting you went through, what was wrong with the parenting you had. And a lot of us don't really admit this part, because I hear a lot of people say, oh no, my parents used to slap me, hit my head on the wall, but I turned out right. In actual sense, did we really turn out right? If we want to dissect that, what does turn out right actually mean? Who are the people fighting in public? Who are the people cheating us in offices? Who are the people that are stealing from us? Who are the people that are hacking our accounts and using it to beg people for money? I'm just ranting now because somebody's doing that to me on YouTube right now. You know, but who are these people? So who exactly turned out right? What's the track record? What can we use to prove that the parenting that we went through was effective? And that's where the place of training comes in. That's what nobody has touched on. And I say, you know, I'm going to come on this life and just share this part. We go through marriage counseling because we realize that marriage, oh, you're getting into this new journey. You don't know everything. I'm going to get training so that I understand what communication is, what intimacy is, what's building finance. But nobody actually talks about training to be a parent. And our marriage counselings don't focus on that. They just say, oh, teamwork, both of you do it together, rub her back when she's pregnant. That's the easy part, honestly. When the child comes, who is this child you're trying to raise? What is the picture of this child? Are you just having children because you're contributing to world population, or what exactly is your child supposed to be? And recently, I've been married 10 plus years. It is this year, for the first time, my husband and I went through a parenting training that was focused mainly on our children. And honestly, after I finished that training, I really wish that I had this training before I even started having children. So what we're doing now, what that training did for us is it took us back to our childhood to say, tell me what you remember about your childhood. What did you remember about the kind of parenting you had? What were the negatives? What were the positives? What was the outcome of those things? It was that particular exercise was a bit uncomfortable because we had to go back to go and confront, for the people who had abuse, for the people who dealt with addiction, for the people who had parents who were separated. We had to go back and really call those things what they were and admit that, you know what, these things interfere with the kind of parents I'm becoming. That's the first step. You have to admit that something was wrong. I am willing to face it. That's the only way you can fix it. You know, so for me, that's what we did. Went back, talked about those things. And then it was like we went back to some of those experiences and gave it a different meaning. Because sometimes it's not the issues you deal with that's the problem. It's the interpretation, it's the meaning you take out of it. That's what now causes the damage. So there was a lot of work going into that to say, this happened to me. Why do you think it happened? Because we blamed our parents a lot. But in actual sense, they did what they knew they could do with the limited information they had at that time. You know, so we had to go back, confront these things, and start again. Right now, my husband and I are literally scripting our children from the attributes that we see, where the signs are pointing us to say, this child, from this person is a creative. That way, I know that I'm not going to now carry a creative and force her to go and do hockey when I know that sports is not in the line. That way, if you know that this person is more analytical, you know that, okay, there's an engineer there, there's a scientist there, there's something there. Let me give a typical example. So my daughter always has a messy room. Always. In my opinion, her room is always messy. One day, she had a cold recently and had to be away from school for about a week because right now everything's COVID. You know, she had a minor flu, had to be away from school for a week. One day I walked into her room and she had all her stuffies on the ground at the same time. And I thought, why do you have why is your room so messy? From where I passed the room, it's mess I saw on the ground. But I walked into that room and looked a little more closely. And my daughter had recreated her classroom inside her bedroom. She used her stuffies, arranged all of them, put a big stuffy in front to be the teacher. She was missing school. She recreated her classroom inside her room. But from my point of view, it was mess I saw. So that's how some of us are stifling the creative abilities of our children because the point of view is different. What she was doing was different from what I saw. So I gave it a label. It is very easy for us to mislabel our children, and that way you're going to parent them wrong. If you don't know that this is the ability of this child. I have to nurture that. I have to help them harness that potential even more. You're going to work directly opposite of what you're supposed to be doing to help the child. So there's a place of training, guys. And honestly, I think every parent should take at least one proper parenting training from professionals. There are people who have gone ahead of us that know these things. If they're showing you the way, by all means, take it, honestly. So that's just what I'll add to this. Like, parenting is not an easy thing. It does not come naturally to anybody. There's nobody who's genetically wired to be a better parent. I just have to put that out there. That mothers are more nurturing, fathers are more, it's a lie, fat lie. Because in my house, my husband is the nurturing one. When it comes to my children, our children, he's more patient. I don't have the patience, maybe because I'm the busy parent, because I'm working full time, I'm in school, I'm doing YouTube on the side, and my kids are young. My kids are like 7 and 8. He's the one that will do all the assignments with them. There's no parent-teacher events that we have missed between both of us. If I'm not there, he shows up. School drop-off, pick-up, it is 99% his job. You know, and both of us work for the same employer self. So you can't say, I have meeting with the old, you can't lie. You know, our schedules, we have to now sit down to sync it, to say, who can do what part time? Now you go down. There's no, this one is mommy's job, this one is daddy's job. You know, and it was not a walk in the park. It didn't happen overnight because, like I said, our children were born in Nigeria. And it was not like that in Nigeria, because for him in Nigeria, before the children wake up, he's gone. Before he comes back, they're slept. It was like that for a long time. And it put a lot of stress on our marriage, on him being a father, because he didn't know the children. It was when we came here, when nobody works till midnight. Of course, all of us close at 5 o'clock. That's it. Because no employer wants to pay you overtime, right? That's where he now started to learn and get to know his children again. And the children started to get to know him. So this is a lot of work. Like, we've been here going to 6 years now. And in the last 6 years, I have seen how the change of environment drastically changed the way we do things. We had to sit down and tell ourselves the truth. Like, look, we're not in Nigeria anymore. There are adjustments that we need to make. And right now, it's like, he met me and now he has taken over, because I can't. There are so many things. Like when Barbara was saying, you cannot really kill yourself. I mean, 10 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock now. Nobody has had breakfast in this house. My children have had potato chips. They have eaten something. They are fine. So for me to now wake up and say this morning I'm going to cook 3 course meals, it's not realistic. At the end of the day, you cannot give from an empty cup. If I'm empty, everybody will suffer. You know, so just being able to recognize what is important per time. Because yes, like Kate said, there's no balance. Something is suffering per time. I heard a story, somebody called it like, it's like glass and rubber balls. If you are catching a glass ball, the rubber ball is falling. You have to now decide, what is my glass ball per time? What is the most important thing right now that can't wait? That's your glass ball. If you let that glass ball drop, everything else suffers. You know, so you have to recognize what is the glass ball, what is the rubber ball, and pay attention to the glass ball. The rubber ball will fall, but it will bounce. You know, your children can eat potato chips. They can have bread and peanut butter, or bread and butter for dinner. It doesn't have to be meat. It doesn't have to be home cooked meals. I have learned that, and I know peace, honestly. Sorry, I've talked so much. I wrote all the things I've been, all the things I wanted to say, I wrote them down.
So that goes back to say every child is different. We have to like pay attention to our children's needs. Because
absolutely, Barbara, that's why I'm hailing you. You are 5 to keep up with.
Someone left a comment on my comment section. It's like, I pay attention to my second son. They didn't know that my second son is slow. He was very slow. He had to go for speech therapy. So I pay more attention so that he can catch up with the others. So the twins actually came and helped him talk. Now he's talking like parrot, but he was slow. So I found his problem. I had to pay, so I pay more attention. He's slow to express himself. So he was very clingy to me. That's because I was working closely with him, because I realized he had a problem and I needed to attend to that. So sometimes when we show our life, people don't understand. They start judging you.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
So,
for me, I'm very careful when it comes to me and YouTube. I kind of manage how much of my children I put out there because of things like this. Like, it would totally break me. Like, I don't know how people like you who we see your children all the time. I don't know how you guys manage those comments. But for me, I really manage how much, because in this training, I realized that sometimes we just treat children like they can't think for themselves. That is so wrong. I started this YouTube channel. I just one day woke up, put a camera in my children's face. I realized I didn't actually ask them is it okay for me to put this? Is it okay for me to film it? That's what I'm doing now. And sometimes my son is like, Mom, there are times where in the middle of a vlog, my son is saying something and I ask him like, are you okay with me filming this? And he'll say, no, Mom, I just want to have this conversation with you. And I have to respect that. My son now goes to school. So recently my channel got featured in like local news here in Canada, in my city. I anchored an event, like a global event, and I got interviewed by different like TV channels, radio channels, and they showed clips from my channel in local news. So he had his teachers recognize him, he had classmates recognize him. He didn't ask for that. My kids are relatively private like me. So he goes to school and people now recognize him. We go to church, people recognize him. So for now, I'm learning to ask them, are you okay with me filming this? Would you like to be in my vlog today? And if he says, oh, yes, Mommy, let's do a video. Sometimes he's the one that brings it up. Some other times it's like, actually, I just want to have this time with my family. It's my son, precisely. My daughter's camera ready. If she see camera, she pose, But for my son, I have to understand that these two children are different and treat them differently, completely different. There's no templates that you can use to cover all the children. In scripting my children, in looking at them to kind of draw like a map, I see that my kids are different. And in schools here, at the beginning of the school year, there's a form they send home to say, is there any information about your child you would like to share with the teachers just to help me know how I'm going to help them in this school year? I'm putting together a binder that they are going to be giving to teachers and bringing back, like a user's manual for my child. This is who my child is. This is what they like. This is how they learn. This is what doesn't work. So if you try this, you're not going to get any result. This is what works for my children. It's just from sitting down and just asking myself those questions. What exactly are we doing? Am I going to be doing these children a disservice? If I raise them, I cannot afford to raise these children the way I was raised. We are in a different place now. You're going to be in Nigeria. You cannot look at an adult straight in the face. It's disrespect. Here in Canada, they call it confidence. So am I now going to say, when you're talking to an adult, put your head down? You're already setting that child up for trouble if it's not relevant in the place that you are in. Here they say, oh no, you can't. In Nigeria, you can slap a child. Try it in public. It's police that will come on your door. Sometimes I'm making my daughter say I'm afraid because of the way she cries. May my neighbor not go and call police and think I'm beating this girl, Some of those things, you have to now really pay attention and say, what is relevant to me? What is relevant in this generation? What kind of children am I trying to raise? In 10, 15 years, this thing that I'm insisting on, is it going to be necessary? If it's not going to be necessary, don't sweat it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Pay attention to the values that will never leave them. There's nothing that anybody can tell me today when they say, oh, social media, you're supposed to be a role model. I have a major problem with that, first of all. So role model, you are supposed to be your children's first role model. If you do not do the work inside your house, it's not social media that will now teach your children values. Sorry. If you put in the work, do the foundational work inside your house, there are some things your children will never stray from. There's no amount of money today that can make me steal. I say it confidently because I've been in positions where see me see money. Why? My father was very big on integrity. He passed that down to me. Was he a nurturing father? Was he there for me emotionally? No. But in integrity from my father, I will never deviate from that. So there are some things that you do, even in the midst of chaos, some of us still held on to values, and that we can hand down to our children. So just know what is important. Do the one that you can do. The values, those, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. I just know that right now there are some things that my children will not stray from.
Yeah, I just want to say this. In as much as we want our kids to respect us, we also have to give them respect. I learned this tip from my mom. She was a couple of days back. We're getting on her for the fact that, okay, she's always supporting my elder brother. She told me that, no, she's not supporting my brother. Just because she doesn't say it in front of us, she doesn't say it in public. She sent me messages that, behind the scenes, she's talking to him. Like, she was telling me that, Jason, my older son, he's growing. He's a big boy. When you want to correct him, you don't have to do it all the time in front of his younger ones. And it dawned on me. I'm like, wow, this makes a whole lot of sense.
A lot of sense.
Yes, I was like, wow. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah, it dawned on me really hard.
Yeah, Marina, you went off. Are you coming back? Because I don't think you are done with what you were saying. Okay, so I'm just reading this. This said she consoles herself that she's doing more for her kids than her parents did for her, and she turned out all right. All right. Everybody with the one that they used to make themselves feel better. Oh my God. Someone said, I'm 24 and I think my generation has had its fair share of negative peer influence. I don't think it's even a modern world problem. It's always been there, and I'm sure our parents worry too. Yeah, it's always been there. I don't know why it just seems a lot more difficult, and I think it's because we're in like direct communication with the outside world,
Right.
unlike it was before. Before it's like you can be physically influenced, like you can only be influenced if you are there with the people that are influencing you. But now you can be influenced just from like the screen of a phone or like a tablet or a computer, and your children can just pick up all sorts. So it's a lot, it's a lot easier now. So I think that's why we feel it. Yeah, Mr. Louisa, thank you for the money. Are you in Maryland, Barbara? Okay, I don't know why you're asking
No,
that.
no, no. I used to
Your
live in
daughter
Maryland.
visitor.
I used to live in Maryland, but I'm in Tennessee now.
Okay. Someone said, "Hello everyone. I would like to know why people have kids. I have one daughter, and I'm having pressure from my family to have more when I have no clarity on the purpose of having kids."
This right here, this thing right here annoys the s out of me. When someone has a child and they're asking the person, it it really annoys me because why? What's the reason? I have three boys, and some people are telling my husband that he needs to have a girl because the girls are the ones that come and take care of
The men,
the
The
family.
the
parents.
The,
father.
and I'm like, who is this? Why are you making such comments? Why are you making this?
I know.
Because
Mm,
it's enough as it is. I'm trying to lose the weight of three children, and you're trying
yeah.
to say, oh, you need to have more so that I can be taken care of in future. Why?
Why?
The ones that I have, they will
Train
not
the
take care
ones
of
that
me.
you have, they will take care of you. When
They
you
will take
train
care of
Yes,
them,
they,
you.
that's what I'm saying. The ones that I have, they will not take care of me. It is the girl. It is gender
Mm,
now. It is gender related if they can take care of me. It's
exactly.
making
Gender related. Yes.
yeah.
human, these are human beings, whether they are a boy, it's a boy or a girl. Train
Girl.
your children in the way that they are kind human beings. Because if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
a kind child, there's no way
Mm-hmm.
that child can. We have children. There are people that have children, and they end up not by. I don't think it's the parents' fault, but some people
Yeah.
overlook their children. Sometimes it's the society or the environment. Sometimes it's the upbringing. But
Yeah.
for the most part of it is it's the way the children turn out to be. So I think we should be praying for kind children,
Yeah.
have a kind child, not to have a specific gender. Because
Mm,
kindness does not connote to one gender. I don't know
yeah.
why people are
Right.
always thinking that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, and I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with the way people maybe the way people raised boys, because I think when a lot of times when it came to raising boys, maybe there was like a lot of neglect, and people focus so much more on nurturing the girl child. So I don't know if that's where it comes from, where people feel that boys they say boys will grow up, they will leave the house, they will go and marry, but a girl will grow up and also move to her husband's
Yeah,
house.
it's
So
the
why do we feel
upbringing.
that? And why do we feel that the girl is going to be the one to come back and take care of you? Just
Okay,
like you said, it's
that's
more
really
important to just raise kind children.
it's really annoying. If you have a boy, it's a problem. If you have too many boys, it's a problem.
It's a
If you have too
problem.
many girls, it's a problem. If you have one child, it's a problem.
It's a
If you have,
problem.
oh my God, where does it end?
That's why everybody needs to know what they want. Know what you want for
Yeah.
yourself,
You are,
because that outside influence, if
Yeah,
you're not sure, you would be shaky. You wouldn't even know, like, oh, do I do it? Is it because they're saying this? Is
yeah,
this really why I want to have this child? Do I want the child, or am I doing it to please my in-laws or to please people?
yeah. You have to stand strong for yourself because the outside
Yes.
influence is very toxic. Internet
Yeah.
alone is very toxic. You go there, learn what you want to learn, and trash the rest. Because when you
Yeah.
start focusing on that, man, you're gonna feel down. So,
Hi, Joy. Nice to have you here.
hi,
So based
girl.
on Kate, about um allocating duties. So someone said, for instance, that she selects clothes and she tells her 4 years old daughter to put them in the machine, and then when she's done washing, she takes them out and spreads them. I can imagine your 4-year-old spreading clothes. That means the clothes dryer must be her height or something, or she climbs a stool or something. So create a timetable. It helps lessen the burden. So I guess this is talking about food. A timetable helps with food. My mom did that at least for the daily meals, so we always knew what to expect. Any special meals were just a one-off from time to time. Yeah. So that's Kate, that's your question. So they say timetable, meal prep, and then stick to it. But I think Kate also mentioned something about inconsistency of getting stuff, like especially because of where you live. Because today it can be you can go to the market and then tomorrow they are telling you, oh, you are home for so amount of days, and so okay.
Hi,
Hi Joy,
Claire.
nice to have you here.
I'm good. Sorry, I have an event I have to go for, so I just want to add some things quickly. So, I'm actually in the US, and I think just being here and before I started raising kids here, I would hear everybody say it's easier in Nigeria, right? Until I actually spoke to my friends that are in Nigeria, and we discovered it's actually the same thing. And I actually said to myself and started asking myself questions, and I discovered it's actually harder to raise kids in Nigeria than in the United States. Now, let me explain. So, in Nigeria, you have other issues. You have security issues. You have inflation, hyperinflation. You're not just worried about um, the like, okay, what will my child eat? You're worried about things that you have absolutely no control
No
over,
control
apart
over.
from prayers. So that extra emotional stress, I don't know how Nigerian parents raising kids in Nigeria do it. I don't think any amount of help can help people understand that. And I discovered also in America, a lot of people are really concerned about LGBT and kids turning out right. And it's so funny, I realized that is not even one of my issues. Because I was someone that in college, I had a roommate that was a lesbian, and we were really close. And that in no way affected my sexuality in any way. And I understand. I feel immigrant parents are scared to have these conversations, right? So when my kid comes to talk to me about LGBT, I realize LGBT members take time to explain what it is to them. So I also explain to my kids too. I let them know it's okay. You can question things, but you're raised in the way of the Lord. You understand your sexuality. You have to understand your why. Why are you about to do this? Why are you signing up for this club? Why are you fighting for this thing? Why are you advocating for this? And none of them have been swayed. So I just want to encourage, don't just go with the flow. Oh, it's easier to raise kids in Nigeria and just be in your comfort zone. Or,
Yeah.
oh, in America it's harder because you can't spank kids. Who said you can't spank kids? I'm in Texas and it's legal to spank kids here. In fact, the law actually says even if you spank a kid and there's an injury for you, there is a provision that says if it's reasonable. So you can't spank kids. My white coworkers spank their kids. Now it's illegal to abuse your kids. It goes again to questioning your why. So I ask, when I'm about to spank my child, I ask myself, why am I about to do this? Am I frustrated? Is it me? Am I actually doing this correction out of love? And most times I realize it's my own fears I'm projecting or my own frustrations. And I step back and I'm like, okay, this is actually abuse. This is not correcting. And most times I don't even have to spank. So please don't hide under the, oh, it's easier to raise kids in Nigeria because they have a lot of help. And it's actually way easier in America. The only thing you really have to worry about is, our work schedule, how to combine this. There's 24/7 light. You can cook a week in
Anytime.
advance. Things work, of course. You need money for some things to work, but things actually work here. I think one thing that shaped my parenting is maybe I seek kids with really well brought up kids. It doesn't matter the race, white, black, Indian, whatever. And I speak to their parents. I ask them, oh, what is one thing you think you did right? And
Yeah.
most of them, they tell me, they're like, oh, I listen. And what I've taken from all of this is one very important thing is I'm actually raising an adult in a child's body. So when I say, okay, like I'm a Christian and I say, oh, I want my child to have faith, and how do I do that? So one recently, my child started having seizures. Went to the doctors and they were like, oh, there's a brain injury and everything, and I was traumatized, right? And I started panicking, and I'm like, oh, but something spoke to me. But you're raising your child to have faith. So this is the practical situation. Where's your faith? So I took her to the best doctors. And the doctors were like, there's nothing we can do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a Christian. What has my Bible taught me? Being a Christian is not just hiding under being a Christian so that my children can turn out good. It's actually living by God's word. And what did I do? I listened to, I'm a Christ Embassy member. I listened to Pastor Chris, and I listened to a lot of healing ministers. I spoke God's word over her. And I realized, I saw my child also having faith, and she stopped having seizures. And the word worked. I was like, wow, I now know what I'm trying to do. This is not just, this is not a joke. I'm actually raising an adult in a child's body. So whatever I want her to emulate, or my kids to emulate, you know what I do? I start doing it. Oh, I want you to eat a salad. I start having salads for lunch.
Model it.
So now and later, they also start having salads for lunch. And most parents with successful adults that I've seen, that is what they tell me. They're like, the thing my parents did right is I learned from them. It wasn't even what they said. I know it's so cliche, and sometimes you get tired and you just want to snap. But that is what kids learn. So, and I also remind myself, I'm not a mother 24/7. I'm not a wife 24/7. I'm a human 24/7. I'm going to make mistakes. Some days I'm like, you know what? This mother thing, I'm going to go do baby girl life for me. I'm stepping out for lunch for myself. I'm treating myself. The house will take care of itself. My husband will be fine. The kids will be fine. Work will be fine. I'm human 24/7. So I don't even have expectations to be perfect. I just want to, do my part in my little corner of the world. Drink water, look good, work out, and sleep. I know God is going to handle the rest. So I just want to encourage everyone there. Yeah, you're doing well. You're doing extremely well. Relax. Don't type the word to your chest.
Yes.
You're doing very well. Thank you, Chinyere. I learned so much from you, especially organizing and how to just set myself up for success, But you're doing well. So thank you all mothers out there. God bless you. Remain in the faith. We're in this struggle together.
We are. Thank you so much. It was so good to have you. Thank you, Joy.
Yeah.
Marina is back.
Yay. I don't know what happened.
I thought you actually logged off.
No, I was not sure what was. I tried to, a message came in and I tried to swipe down, and then I just don't know why it closed everything. Sorry, give me one.
Okay, let me go through some of the. Okay, Marina, someone is asking what your YouTube channel is.
Marina is Siri.
Marina
My
is
first
Siri.
name, then ESIRI. Yeah.
Okay. Let me type.
Oh, thank you. I agree. I agree with a lot of the things that Joy said, like especially the fear of the LGBT conversation. And it makes me laugh when I hear some parents here say, I don't want my kids exposed to things like that. I'm like, you don't understand. If you don't want to have the conversation at home, honey, somebody is going to help you have that conversation outside. And I think why it is a risky thing to do is that you don't have any control over how they will hear it and what they will hear. So you are in the best position to have those difficult conversations at home. You can control the narrative, because there are a lot of things here that's so different from what I saw in Nigeria. And we have to have explanations as to why. Typical example, tomorrow is Halloween. People are going to dress up as different things, walk on the road, asking for candy from door to door. The first few years I struggled, like, what does this thing mean? Is it just the fun of it? Is it just people just enjoy going around, children just dress up looking all cute? Like, what exactly is the reason why people are celebrating this thing? So I went online, I went to read. The first year, my kids were like in preschool. They were really young, didn't really understand. So in school, they made costumes for all of them. In their class, it was like a class project. So that one, they wore costumes, but we've never gone trick-or-treating or anything. The church we attend typically has like a party on the same day as Halloween and share candy. For me, I just feel it's the same thing that has just gotten repurposed, right? We go to church instead. But I started to read up, like, what is the origin of Halloween? What are people actually doing when you decorate your house with skulls and tombstones and pumpkin carved into lanterns? What do those things mean? And I was not very pleased with what I saw as the history. So it gave me like a basis to have the conversation with our kids to say, actually, in our family, This is what we stand for. This is what we believe in. And this is what Halloween means. It is in direct contradiction with what we believe. That's the reason why we don't celebrate. For like 2 years, it was a struggle for them because it was like, well, it's just for the fun of it. It's not scary. It's actually make believe. They were the ones convincing me that Halloween is not a bad thing. I now had to show them, go into history, show them pictures, look at it. This is exactly what you are acknowledging. This is exactly what you are accepting if you say we're going trick-or-treating, or it's Halloween we're doing. Right now, yesterday they had like a costume party. Because Halloween is on Sunday, they now moved the celebrations to yesterday. Their school sent information to say, hey, are you going to be a part of this? If you're not going to be a part of it, these are the options. They had movie night in their class yesterday. If you're not going to have a costume, you can wear whatever you like. In the morning, I now woke up and told my kids, like, today is movie night. And they say if you don't have a costume, you can wear this color or this color. My son was like, no, I'm not going to wear both colors. I'm going to wear whatever the hell I like. And he wore what he liked, completely different, not a costume, not any colors. He has come to the point now where I don't even have to say it again. So next year now, I know it's not a conversation we'll have. Should we go trick or treating? They understand it now to say, this thing is not what we believe in our family. So that means you cannot even go to school and tell people that they are wrong because you respect other people's choices. This is what we do in our family. This is what is obtainable in our family. It might be different from what other people do outside. We respect that. And that's the same way we have had the LGBT conversation. In our family, this is what we believe. This is what we believe God made male, female, and in romantic relationships, the ideal is that male and female are in a relationship. But right now in the world, there are some people who are different from us. Different doesn't mean it's bad, because to those people, what they're doing is the truth. To us, because we have another understanding, our understanding is the truth. So everybody is living their truth. My truth does not become superior to another person's truth, because I'm working in what has been handed down to me, what I have learned, and what I have come to understand as my truth. It has worked for me, so I'm holding on to it. If another person has a different idea, because in actual sense, if I was born in India, they would have told me that Buddha is the one true God, and that's what I would have held on to as the truth. But in Nigeria, where I was born, Jesus was handed to me. I have listened, I have followed, I have seen the truth for myself, so I believe Jesus is the way. Right? So for me to now go out and tell everybody that you are very wrong, all the things you have believed from childhood is useless, we're not going to make any headway like that. That's another thing Christianity that has changed for me here. My Christianity has gone from just talking to say I'm a Christian. It now has to move to lifestyle. You have to be able to be a Christian when your mouth is shut. If you don't open your mouth, will people know that you're a Christian? If you're going to be convicted that you're a Christian, is your lifestyle enough to give them evidence to convict you that you're a Christian? That's what's going on here. So for us as parents, to even hand Christianity down to our children in this abroad, it's not easy. This is one of the parts that is hard, because yes, we're Christians, we go to church, but when you go to church, you hear a message and you come into the world, what's happening outside the doors of the church is in direct contradiction with what the church is saying. How then do they stand? In the day of adversity, how would their resolve stand? So that work, we have to do it inside our houses. The difficult conversations, we must face it head on. No need to quote it. No need. Right now, my children are 8 and 7. We're already having conversations about feelings, about emotions, about feelings towards boys, because those things will come. There are people in their class who are already talking about, you have a boyfriend, you have a crush. They'll come and say, Mommy, what's a crush? We'll sit down, we'll talk about it. We'll laugh about it. We'll look for movies. We'll look for books that are appropriate to have those conversations and just have them. So this parenting thing, you don't really stop parenting, because every phase comes with a new set of stresses that you must deal with. When they have passed the phase of changing diapers, then is the change of asking you why to everything, or saying no to everything. When that phase passes, is the adolescence and the changes, all the madness that comes with, so it's never ending. So if you put pressure on yourself to want to be a perfect parent, you're going to be on pressure for the rest of your life, because you don't stop parenting. Even when they get old and they get married, when they have children, say it's you that will go back and go and help them, so it just doesn't end. And to listen to Joy say, you have to know when to take that step back. You have to know when to just step back and say, you know what, today I'm going to be baby girl. If anything wants to scatter, let it scatter. That's what I'm doing today. Again, it is 11:30 a.m. Nobody has sitting in my house. I'm on YouTube. But are we going to die? No.
So in your
My
case,
children are eating
that's the
potato
plastic
chips this
ball, right?
morning.
Not the glass ball.
Exactly. That food is rubber ball right now. This glass door with me talking to other mothers and just drawing strength. This is my glass ball at this moment. Sorry.
Okay.
And that's where teamwork also comes in. My husband now, when he's hungry, will now get up and cook for all of us. I'm just so blessed. That man is such a blessing. Some days I just feel like if not be this one, I don't craze. But but I just thank God that at the end of the day we're on the same page. At the end of the day, we realize that we're on the same side. So it's not me versus you, it is me and you versus the world. And that's how we've been able to maintain sanity so far.
Woo. Amazing.
Thank you.
It's a lot
Thank you
of
so much,
learning, it's a lot
Marina.
of work.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, happy.
Did I have any other question? I wrote down my questions, but I think we've gone through. Let me go through the comments. Okay, I'll save the life. People start to save them. I'll save the life. I hope I can save it because I'm using a
Please save
new
it, please.
platform to stream. I hope I'll be able to save it because
With StreamYard you can. When you get off, it will automatically save. Yeah.
Okay. So someone said this. Did someone say kids are investments? I don't know because someone is saying I don't agree that kids are investments. They are human beings because investments will produce ROI, and when kids do not produce or require investments, it ends up in tears and frustration. I feel like nobody should even think that their kids are investments or expect that your kids will have some sort of backup plan for you or something. Because I know I've heard a lot of
can you just say something about that?
Yeah.
So this, I think where that idea that kids are investments is from the way we were raised. Our parents sent us to school so that when we start working, and we will now take care of them, right? Under ideal circumstances, that's fine. But let me tell you what happens here. When especially for like typical Canadians, when their parents start getting old, they send them to like nursing homes. And the impression that we as newcomers have is, how can you do that? For what? My parents will live with me. But see the picture. When a child is born in Canada, to parents who are like permanent residents or citizens, the government has to pay them from the day they are born, right? They get monthly childcare benefits. It's paid to the mom because the mother is considered the primary caregiver. So that payment is made until age 18 if your joint family income does not exceed a certain threshold. So for the average Canadian child, let's say their income stays within a threshold. From 0 to 18 years, they are paid on a monthly basis. But when those children are ready to go to university or post-secondary education, they have to collect student loans, which means that me as the child, I am borrowing money to go to school to train myself, which is what's different in Nigeria. Our parents pay. That's where the investment is, to say, I'm going to put off gratification to raise these children so that when they now work and they're standing on their feet, in the day that I can no longer work and earn as much, they will take care of me. So I understand that that's where that's coming from. But here it can't work because if from 0 to 18, the government is paying the child and you did not put anything aside for their post-secondary education, they now go to university. By the time they are graduating, they are $45,000 to $50,000 in basic. That's how they are starting their lives. They are already going to be years back with their peers because they are trying to make up for that $45,000 that they are owing. Imagine that you saved something from their money for 18 years. It would have paid for their university education. So they would have come out of school completely debt-free. That way, a child can look and say, this father, this parent did something for me. They will go all out for you. But by the time the child is now struggling, they're already starting their life 50K behind. Of course, when you are old, they are still working to try to pay off student loans. In the process, they buy a house. That's mortgage on top of the debt. So, of course, you will go to old people's home because they are struggling to find their feet, right? And that's something I think that parents who are moving their children from Nigeria here need to think about. University education here is expensive. Secondary school from kindergarten to high school is free, but post-secondary education is very expensive. If you are saying that I'm moving from Nigeria to Canada because I want to give my children a better life, or to for the UK, the US, wherever it is you're moving to, and these children are going to university, they are going to owe money, just know that when you are old, they are going to send you to old people's home because they are struggling to make up for all the time that they lost paying back $50,000 before their lives even started. So that idea that children are investments is faulty to an extent, because the burden should not even be on the child. You paying your child's education, you're not doing anything extra. It's your job as a parent. That's how I see it. A child did not beg to be born. If you're going to give birth to a child, then just know that you are taking full responsibility for what you're supposed to do, and you're not supposed to burden them with things that are supposed to be normal. So I kind of get the idea of where children are investment is coming from, but I'm just painting this picture to let you know that it can quickly become a disadvantage if you put that burden on the child to say, because you raise one, that one you raise should now raise the 5 others. It's not fair. You're just setting them backward, and abroad it is even harder. So all these years that we're getting free education, what we are doing is we're trying to treat it like if we were going to pay for this education, how much would it cost us? And we're putting that money aside in like education investment, so that our children can go to higher institution completely debt free, except they want to do courses like medicine, where it will cost up to $400,000 for them to go through med school. In that case, if I'm even going to co-sign, so it's not going to be like they are borrowing, it's going to be like I am borrowing on their behalf. It's still my responsibility, right? So let's just be careful with that. Children are not investments. They are not. You're not training them so that they will not come and pay you. That's not how it is. It's not multi-level marketing where you invest inside and you not get money back. No, I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Marina. Looking at the comments, makes a lot of sense, but some parents that have as much as 5 to 6 kids put the burden on kids. And I don't understand what you said. Makes a lot of sense now, but some parents that have as much as 5 to 6 kids put the burden on the kids. I don't understand that. But I think Marina made a very, very good point. Like, instead of using the money that you're supposed to pay for school to be flexing, you put it aside so that it helps in some kind of way, and eases the we need a balance overall. Your children will grow and move on with their lives. Just raise kind and happy human beings while also living your own life, and don't live for your kids alone. Of course. Senior citizens' home in the States is not cheap. So these old people's homes, are they paid for by the government, or is it the children that are still paying the bills? Paid for by the government.
Some of them is the parents that pay. They use their old age pension and those things to pay. Some of them have insurance. Some people get insurance for things like that. So it's insurance companies. If you have insurance, the insurance companies will pay. So what they do is like you just go there. The old people's home charge you monthly for like medical care. For if it depends on the condition of the parent. If it's okay, this person is sick, maybe they have dementia, they can't take care of themselves, and they need 24-hour care. It's different from I'm old, I don't want to live alone, so that if something happens to me, there'll be somebody else. So it's graduated depending on. For some people, their children are kind enough to pay, especially if it's children that live in a different city from where their parents are. They are worried, they don't want their parents to be alone, so they send them to those places and pay and follow up. So it depends, but I don't know anyone that is the government that pays for it. It comes out of either the resident or their children or insurance.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, someone said in the US it's mostly paid by the government.
Okay, maybe that's different. In Canada, it's different.
I personally think investment doesn't necessarily mean money. Having a kind child is through your investment, because you have to invest your time through pain, suffering, and prayers. Yeah, we get you, but that wasn't what that's statement that person made. When people say that, or like in the context we read it, it wasn't investing your pain and suffering. No, it wasn't that. It was really paying back because you have given your children some sort of thing. Someone said, you want to say something, Kate?
No, I was trying to complete your sentence, like taking care of them financially and otherwise. That's what.
Someone said, are we all just living beyond our needs? Is this causing our children to work harder and to have a great opportunity and education just to live like the rich Americans? Well, I guess life is a lot different now. So some people could be living beyond their needs, because there's what's this thing? What do they call this thing? Consumer what? I don't even know. Just like the need to always purchase and all of that. At times, the parents' houses are collected by the government and used to pay for the nursing home bills. Why pay for school for our children? It should be free. Okay, so those are the few comments I have. Someone said the best decision we made this year for our daughter was to pay for her university and not take student loans.
See, Chinyere, I've seen that thing play out so many times, and my goodness, when we did the math, somebody graduate from university, you have not even gotten a job, you're already $50,000. That's what you are owing. And then when you get the entry level jobs, you're going to be offered maybe like 55 to 60,000 as a new graduate. So you are $50,000 in debt, but you are making 55 or $60,000 a year. How do you break even? So when do you now save enough to say, okay, I want to buy that my first house? Can you imagine how much peace a person? Imagine that me now, I'm saving, and by the grace of God, this is what I pray that we're able to do. Our children's education will pay. We're already investing in it now, and those children come out of university, they get their first job. And 2-3 years later, I'm able to write them a check and say, this is $25,000 I've been saving on the side for you. You can use it as down payment towards your first home. Do you think that, which kind of jazz will now make that child one day just wake up and say, you don't have to, you must call me before you come to my house, or something's wrong with you, I will not visit you.
Yeah.
When they can see their mates struggling, drowning in debt, and you are debt free, and then your parents hand you a check and say, take this towards your pet. That's what I think the Bible means when it says a good father leaves an inheritance for his children. The Bible did not tell us our children are returns on investment. If we want to be Christians, let's be Christians all the way. A good father leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. These people that we're dealing with here, let me tell you the truth. The average Canadian who's my age right now has their grandparents alive. Some of those grandparents have homes. They have cabins in different lakes, in different places that they have willed to these people who are my mates. And me are now coming. You will now come from your own country. You first struggle, gather money. You now buy one house. You think you have arrived. But the person who you are sitting side by side with at work, his grandparents have willed him homes. His father has a boat in this place. They have investments. We look at it like, oh, they just live beyond their means. Yes, a lot of people live beyond their means, but the grandparents who were in generations before us made wiser decisions. So I'm standing side by side. Me and that person might earn the same amount, but that person, when it comes to equity, is way ahead of me. So as an immigrant, as a newcomer, you are moving to this country, you are kind of already behind. You are already behind. You're working to catch up. Some of us took jobs that were 2-3 levels less than our actual qualification because they questioned our education. They question our experience. They don't trust it. So you're already behind. If you don't see it that way, and then work twice as hard to make sure your children are at par with their mates and not exactly what we're dealing with now, then you have set the children up for trouble. And then in actual sense, when you look at it, say, oh, I'm moving to Canada to give my children a better life. Did you now end up giving them a better life? If first of all, you are raising them with values that are not relevant here, that are the opposite to what is at par here. Because I know some Nigerians, sis, they attend only Nigerian churches. Their children are in daycares run by Nigerians. They wear only Nigerian clothes. They eat only Nigerian food. All their children's friends are Nigerians, are friends of their friends who are in the same circle. So at the end of the day, you have raised the child with very narrow-mindedness. When they now mix with children of other culture, they can't relate. They don't know any other thing that applies to, if it's not Amala, if it's not Eba, if it's not Egusi, they are not touching it. I know somebody in this my city that ships 250 kg worth of Nigerian food multiple times in a year because she can never be caught dead trying food that is not Nigerian. What kind of child are you raising like that? That child now is going to, so when they go to university, they are going to now be looking for Nigerian food in the school cafeteria. Do you already see how you are setting them up? So in actual sense, and this parenting thing, we need to be able to lay everything on the table and say, what exactly am I trying to do? When I say I'm trying to give my child a better life, what does that mean? What does better life mean? Who decides what is better? Because for that child, you took them away from their friends. You took them away from grandparents, their favorite. They came into Canada and they are black in their class. We don't think about the fact that those things have effects on our children. Sorry, I'm derailing this now, just talking about it from the angle of parents who have moved from their home countries. We don't think about the effect those things have on our children. Our children are already struggling. That's the truth. So if you don't really sit down and be intentional about this better life that we're all running towards, if you don't really call it what it is, like what is better life? How am I really setting these children up for better life? It's all these things we're talking about. It will take a lot of work. It will take a lot of scaling back. It will take a lot of scaling back. I know the sacrifices that my husband and I have made. Things that on a normal day we can afford this thing, but is that priority right now? I live in a small house. Yes, I love my space. It's easy to clean. I don't live in the mansion that you will not pass certain places. It's not because we can't afford it, but for us, it's like, what is our priority at this time? What are the things that really carry weight? So instead of us to be competing with whose house is bigger, who's driving the latest car, whose house has Italian tiles, and that's what's really here. All of us are moving mad.
Tiles, and
That's
that's
what's really
all of
Nigeria
us are
gone
moving
mad. We're mad for I'm telling you, that's what's happening. Honestly, So it's to really just sit down and organize your. Is that me? Am I the one echoing?
No, I think it was Kate.
Okay. So in actual sense, if we really just put these things on the table, we realize that parenting is intentional. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of delayed gratification. So me right now, there are things that I can afford. I think about it like, wait, what? I should pay that amount for a bag. God forbid. If I put it in retirement savings for myself or education savings plan for my children, I will see the return. So I'm delaying. The sacrifices I'm making now is so that tomorrow I can say I actually did all of this because I was trying to give my children a better life. And for me, better life will be when they are on their feet. They are able to start life without debt. They are able to start their lives, and in a couple of years, they can come to me to say, hey, I have enough money to save and buy a house. I want to get married. And they are in healthy relationships. Their minds are in healthy places. Because we're having immigrant children who are ending up on drugs, who are ending up in juvenile jails because of all these things that we ignore. Parents are busy we're chasing our careers because, like I said, we took steps back. In chasing careers, our children are suffering. So there has to be that, pay attention to what is important per time. If it's your career that you have to focus on at this time, just make sure you're not leaving your children behind. Depending on the age of the children, you're going to need to pay attention. And I don't know anybody who can do that without training. You're going to need help. You're going to need help with what you're up against, with the culture of this place, the silent things that we don't even know about. Everybody's going to need some help. And like we have all said here, we're in this together. The importance of community is the reason why I do what I do on YouTube. Just to paint that picture to people, to say, look, landing in Canada is the easy part. When you wake up the next morning is where the work starts. And that's what I'm focusing on, just to help people say the change of mindset, the importance of being able to lean on each other genuinely, not from that competitive place. I mean, there's a place of healthy competition, but when it's about cars, it's about material stuff, we're missing the point. Indians have a system that works for them. Asians generally, when they come together, it's like they plug into each other, and before you know, they have taken over. Before you know, you wake up one day and there are like 6 other Asians on your street. They have bought all the houses. But we are competing with each other and saying whose house is bigger. Instead of partnering, we're competing. Instead of collaborating, we're competing. So God will help us really at the end of the day. But the beautiful thing is that help is available. These resources are available. It's just for us to intentionally search them out and just do better, honestly. For everybody who's struggling, you're not alone. I still have things that I struggle with even now. I still get that feeling of I feel like an inadequate parent. It comes to me sometimes, but then I'm able to talk about it, and I have a partner who supports me as well. And both of us just know that we cannot both be weak at the same time. When I'm weak, he's strong for me. When he is weak, I'm strong for him. So that partnership, at the end of the day, we can't remove it, honestly.
Someone said you should be a counselor.
Oh, really? I'm reading book. I'm so sorry, Chinyere. I feel like I took over. Your live channel for this part.
I haven't said before. I not come here telling people I want to. I look for female, but I was like, I want to bring you guys in, and I want us to just like pour out and like share. So even myself, I don't get anything to say. Someone said,
this is something I'm very passionate about.
Someone's asking for your YouTube channel.
It's something I'm really passionate about, marriage, family, parenting. So when I hear topics like this, it's like, oh my God, this thing has touched me in that place. This is my mumu button. So that's why I just kept going on and on. Sorry.
Yeah, Indians do better. Most Nigerians here are just doing show. Our people know the year word.
Sad, really sad. It's sad. Real estate people like us, They like us, you know why? Because all you have to do is just tell the Nigerian you're working with that, the last Nigerian I dealt with, The house they bought was 600,000. Automatically, this new Nigerian wants a house that's 620,000. Guess who's gaining the commission? The real estate agent. So they like us. If you call a real estate agent and say you're Nigeria, you want to buy a house, they'll go and show you from the ones that start for millions and tell you how they are previous clients. But it's sad. It's really sad, honestly.
Also, I pray my kids.
I saw a comment earlier. I saw a comment earlier where somebody was asking where is the training available. So the training that we took was from, he's a Nigerian, he's a counselor. His name is Praise Fowowe. He's on Instagram as a family life therapist. Yes, Praise Fowowe is always, that's who we took yes, it was virtual. The particular training we took was particularly for parents in North America, but Praise always has trainings in Africa in different places. So if you've never heard about him, I would say check Praise out. That guy is a powerhouse when it comes to family life engineering. Like, he knows so much. And for me, I'm learning from what he's saying and customizing it to what our needs in our family are. So I'll say everybody should check Praise out.
Yeah, written it down. I'll definitely check. Thank you for Lashade. I think our life can end now. We've tried. It's been 2 hours, Abby. 2 hours. Marina, thank you. Do you have any other thing to say? I'm here. If you have any.
No, I'm just saying thank you. I really love your channel. I love how cultured your girls are. I watch you a lot when it comes to organizing.
Praise Fowowe, yes, I'll type it in the comments now, just in case people have a problem with the spelling.
It's Fowowe.
Yeah, I'll type it in the comments so you guys can check. So that should not end.
Yeah.
You want me
for
to
everybody
sleep here? Or you want my
please, it has to end. Potato chips has expired. We need proper food now. They don't know come and drag me from here.
Thank you, Barbara's Reality. Check Barbara's Reality out. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Marina. Check out Marina as well. She's on YouTube. I live in Canada, and the way the Asians and Indians collaborate and help each other is so commendable. We Nigerians can do better. Wasn't the worry our Nigerians?
We absolutely can. And we're going to try, honestly. It takes one person to start a proper community. And that's what I'm doing here. Like, it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm committing myself to say we have to start building healthy Nigerian communities in the diaspora. It can happen. And I'm very confident it can happen because we're seeing the Asians, the Indians, the Chinese, the Filipinos, they do it. Why can't we? And I'm committed to it. And hopefully you guys are able to follow the journey.
So please check out Marina, so you don't miss anything. We don't miss anything. Thank you guys so much, Marina. Thank you so much, everybody that joined the live. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You made this live a hit. I don't think I've enjoyed any live the way I've enjoyed this one because I cannot continue to talk and just be the only one talking. What do I have to say, Kwame? So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And to everybody that has dropped what they call these things again. Nobody that's Kate is trying to come on. Kate, we're already ending the live now.
Super chat.
Already ending the live. Yeah, super chat. Everybody that has dropped some super chat. Sorry, I missed it because we have been talking and it's not engaging. Kate, do you have anything to say?
No, in general, I just want to say every woman should just end the trail of perfection. Motherhood and parenthood is not a perfection race. We should just take things at a time. That's just what I have to say at the end.
Thank you. I hope everybody will pick up from this. I'm going to save the live because it is too packed to not save it. It is just too packed to not save it. Thank you, super chat people. Thank you, guys. God bless you. The live is gonna end. It's almost 7 o'clock, 2 minutes to 7 o'clock. But thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough. So next live will probably be next month. Please, people should bring the same energy, dears. Please, I'm going to come up with something I will talk about, but bring the same ginger. Marina, please, I hope I'm going to be seeing you. Maybe we won't just do.
I'll look out for if I see the post, the reminder. I just need a couple of days ahead so that I'll set a reminder. Yeah. Of course, I'll be here. I'll join.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, people. Thank you so much for being here. I had such a good time. Thank you guys so much. I don't know how many times have I said thank you, But thank you. I'm going to end the live now. It's almost 7 o'clock. Thank you, Jenny. God bless you. You didn't want it to end. Yeah, we see next month. I really pushed. I pushed through. I started getting ready for this live like 10 minutes. I was like, I can't cancel because I already put out a banner. But I'm so happy that, we're able to talk about these things. And I just really want us to talk. That's the purpose of YouTube. But then, the lives make it a lot more engaging so we can, throw out our experiences and our thoughts and, learn from each other. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you next month. Bye.